Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here. And welcome back to another crypto video. And guys, make sure you press the like button right now. Why? Well, we have a ton of crypto news to cover today, and the like button just helps the video perform a teeny weeny bit better. Also, guys, on my screen, we just hit 130,000 subs, but it deviated a couple of times right now because a couple of people are unsubbing. But I just want to quickly thank you all as well for stopping by, saying hi, and doing all the cool stuff that you guys do. You're all amazing. I want to quickly say that. All right, little quick update on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, what just came out. Well, in our live stream, we read two things. One, it's Ripple's letter from late last year, I should say, in which he explained that Ripple has the chance to settle with the SEC because the SEC offered it to them, but they said no because, well, we could do that and it would all be behind us. Not happening though, because that's how confident Chris and I are that we are right. Ripple is very affirmative or very nice in that part, saying they think they're going to win the lawsuit. And I like that. I like that thought process, and I like the idea that we will fight aggressively. Yeah, I like that. Point being, Ripple knows what they're doing, and if you thought a settlement was coming, you might still be right because it still can happen, but most likely it'll be immaculate terms for Ripple because otherwise Ripple's not letting this one go. They want to rule out forever and ever that Ripple was right, and they want to kind of get their name back, all right? It's been tarnished. It's been pooped on a little bit by the SEC. They want to recover some of the damage that's been done. Now, of course, there's also a lawsuit update that we need to kind of cover here. It is the SEC's response to Ripple's request for additional responses to their interrogatories. The long and short of this one is basically Ripple put up a lot of requests, a whole ton of them, asking the SEC to, in their best way, explain why exactly they sued them, but then more specifically, how Howey applies to some specific parts. And funny enough, in Ripple's motion to compel, they basically stated that on most things, the SEC answered that it's not relevant. However, after reading the entire letter here, the SEC is saying that to almost every single thing that Ripple requested, they did respond. They did respond sufficiently in the manner that was necessary by the court, but not in Ripple's own thought process manner. They didn't respond sufficiently, which is a problem for themselves, so to speak, because the SEC kind of thinks they're not doing anything wrong. Now, one of the most fun parts I found, though, of this entire document was when Ripple asked them, is Ethereum and was Bitcoin a security, yes or no? And the SEC really couldn't answer that question without saying, well, we haven't made any determination on that, basically, which is rather funny to me. They didn't just say it out loud like that. They made a whole freaking story around it. But that's funny, how even right now, the SEC is not saying whether or not it is a security or not. And actually, one of the most fun parts of it all was in how the SEC explains how they really can't do anything and really don't actually do anything. What I mean with that is that when we read through this, the SEC basically explained that they have sort of literally no, like nothing that they can, let me say it like this, they have nothing which they can do. They can only look at some sort of cryptos and whatnot and say, yeah, that is a violation of the law. But then again, they even said themselves intra alta. What is the word that we used? I don't know. Guys, if you're watching the live stream, you know by now. It was like inter alia. There we go. Let's actually read it because I'm stuttering a little bit. This is so, talking about the fact that they cannot classify things as securities because the SEC does not typically decide whether any particular financial instrument, without additional context, qualifies as a security per se. Rather, the SEC typically determines inter alia, among other things that means, whether it considers certain offers, sales, or transactions of financial instruments to violate the federal security laws. So what they basically said is we do not determine if things are securities, but we determine whether things are violating the security laws, which means whether things are securities. I don't know exactly what else to tell you. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but it sounds like the most dumb thing they could have ever said. So that's that on that regard. Now, moving on here, guys. I've given you so ridiculously many updates on the specific law in the sense that William Hinman, strange, right? The entire situation is strange. Jay Clayton, strange. Gary Gensler, strange. A lot of these other SEC employees or commissioners, strange, like Hester Peters, for example. All those guys is like, whenever we see the SEC employees talk or question things, it's all just strange. Things are just so freaking odd. And one of the conclusions that we've drawn today is that the SEC is overbroad. They're basically trying to get this entire crypto realm under their wing, where it's just not duly. And in their own interrogatory, no, it might have actually been one of Ripple's letters from earlier today. I don't remember. Maybe yesterday. But basically, Ripple explained that the SEC has already been charged for this a couple of times before in the past and lost because of being too overbroad and trying that, basically. But moving on, let's quickly see what else I had, because I had a lot of stuff. So one fun thing that people said to me in the comment section was how El Salvador actually only bought like $25 million worth of Bitcoin. People were really excited, but it's mostly on the fact that it's an official country that's doing it, not the amount of Bitcoin that they bought. So that's a little bit of a misconception, guys. Nobody really cares how much money they spend on it. It's about the idea that they're getting into it. Then a question that I saw quite often was, who is selling? If everybody is bullish, everybody's hodling, then who is selling? Well, if you look at the whale stats, you look at whale, the fear and greed index, you notice that the fear and greed index went from 70 to like 50 or so, or even lower, maybe from 80 to 40. I don't know exactly, maybe 80 to 50. And that is because, well, people get scared because other people get scared. And even though in the start it's not hodlers, there's a lot of weak sellers. There's a lot of people with weak hands that sell whenever they get a little bit afraid. And here it says, though, that new data hints at Bitcoin crash culprit amid leverage wipeout. Guys, don't forget, the majority of these price moves are either open interest or crazy liquidations. Now, Willy Woo here says, as a reply to himself, day opened with equities risk off, some sell down of Bitcoin, medium levels of fundamental inflows selling, then stop hunting / liquidity collapse, 1.1 billion of Bitcoin liquidations, overall unsupported by investor fundamentals on chain, exchanges are now in outflows, buying. He responded saying, I think I may have found the culprit. Even though open interest was crazy high, spot margin borrowing was also peaking leading up to the crash. Both market combined created enough deleveraging power to flush price. Margin longs on spot markets unwound as much as derivatives. Typo, open interest was not crazy high, it was within normal bounds. So, conclusion, pretty vague. However, you can say there was healthy cleansing that was necessary because a couple of different things stacked up. A lot of people were saying we should buy this day, leverage was crazy high. People were thinking things were just so amazing, so amazing. If you guys get my drift, when people go a little bit too enthusiastic, sometimes they need a little pat in the back, a little, shove to the freaking face, kick in the teeth, however you want to call it. And maybe that's exactly what we saw right now. A little bit of a reality check for a lot of people. And now you know once more, guys, never invest more than you're able to lose because things go really fast. Then again, as I said before, I'm going to say it again because I don't care. I just put a fat load of money over into Bybit. I'm going to put up a couple of crazy trades right now. I'm extremely bullish on crypto. One little fall down, I wouldn't really be too sad for. However, I do think that the near future is going to be up because very often corrections like this don't last too long. And every single time I keep thinking, should I buy into it or should I wait? And then every time I wait, I'm like, I should have just bought the dip. Buying the dip is my philosophy nowadays, guys. It really is. Then here is why the SEC is not allowing Coinbase to launch lending by Evan von Ness. And actually I have the tweet open. What he said was, it's a longer thread, but here it basically says, anyway, I feel like if you actually read much of what the SEC has published about DeFi, then you realize that they were often talking about these centralized lenders and the 100 times perpetual crypto futures companies. They often don't appear to know what DeFi actually is. So the conception here is that the SEC might look at leverage platforms and think, yeah, there's some sort of financial system, there's some sort of futures trading there going on. Okay, that's a security. Boom, we're gonna get you. While in the end of things, decentralized finance and centralized finance on Coinbase, for example, are two different realms. And I think that right now what he's speaking is the truth, that the SEC doesn't really know too much about DeFi to really hammer down on it too much. Gary Gensler knows it. He does. He's pretty good with that. But Gary Gensler is not the entire SEC. He's just a part of it. And it might be so that all in all, they don't have enough knowledge to actually crack it down or regulate it properly. At least I'm kind of thinking about it right now, right? Because that sounds kind of logical, that they just do not know exactly what to do. In terms of whales, there's been a 50 million XP transfer-ish. Hasn't been too interesting, though, to be honest with you, for the rest. That's nothing to be worth mentioning. Make sure you check out my Instagram, guys. By the way, a link is down below somewhere. and we just covered this. Let's actually see this one. So I actually didn't cover this one before. Now, we just read Brent Garlinghouse's entire little story that he read early today. So we already went over that. Stuart Alderoty of Ripple's legal team basically also said, we are told to engage with the SEC in good faith. And what do we get? Enforcement actions or threats of them with no clarity. Their preferred method of strong arm intimidation and inconsistently applying unclear rules hurts consumers and markets in the end. Some UK, Singapore, Japan, etc. have clear frameworks for innovation to flourish with consumer and market protection. Others with sandboxes for safe collaboration between innovators and regulators. How did the US end up with secret regulatory inquisitions? It's so strange if you start to read through it and think about it, how we came to this point. It is so odd. And I still do not have the proper conclusion for you. Let's move on though, guys. XRP price prediction, it dipped below $1. What's going on now? Guys, if XRP gets below $1, I'm buying. Just letting you guys know about that. Am I afraid it's going to go to the zero? No. How low can we go? I don't know about that. All right, I really honestly don't know. But every time it moves lower, I'm buying more. And I'm going to stick to that strategy because I know that that's going to work out for me. I know that way I'm going to make a lot of freaking money. And I know that people who keep thinking that, oh no, but I should only buy in a bullish market or I should wait till the price back. People are going to wait until the prices are back up to start buying. Fear, that's when you buy. Buy others people's fear. Once more, my own personal thought process. You don't have to replicate me. I might be wrong, but that's my thought process. If you're going to wait for things to come into the greed section again, that's when prices are at its highest. Right now, we're finally at a discount. So people are screaming, oh, Dusty, I hope to buy more. I need more XP. You never get better chances. And then some of this stuff, I guess we'll actually talk about it in next videos because I have a lot of things here to share. Like, for example, how people are turning back bullish again. I think a lot of these articles are also timed, man, because it sometimes feels to me as if all of a sudden, when things start to hit the fan a little bit, for example, right now the market crashed. All of a sudden, Coinbase comes out with this suing announcement when things were already doing bad. And the same thing for exchanges all going down. Now, a part of it has to do, obviously, with exchanges just not being able to handle the volume. I get that. But a lot of exchanges all of a sudden go into maintenance mode a little bit before, a little bit afterwards. Most likely because they know they're going to make a ton of freaking money that way by getting their website offline. And people don't care, right? Or people might care and they might stop trading, but you've lost them their money anyway. So you got a win-win situation. At least that's what I sometimes think. I sometimes speculate that type of stuff. All right, but we have so much more stuff to talk about. We'll do that tomorrow, though, guys. I'm so tired today. I don't know exactly what's going on. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Take care. Make sure you follow me on the socials, and have a nice night.